Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey there, Facebook. My name is Dionne C. Monsanto. I am the Chief Joy Connector. And today on day 723, I'm going to be talking to you about how to get grief out of your body. So grab a pen, grab some paper, or however you take notes, and some water. I'm sipping my water. You go get yours. Morning, Jacqueline. Ooh, the rise of the unknown. Is that Teresa? Auntie
Yes,
Abimbola?
ma'am. Peace and blessing. How you doing?
I am awesome. Auntie Abimbola, do you realize we forgot to take a picture when we were together? I was like, I can't believe I did that. Good morning, beautiful Zoom fam. This is Dionne. Hey, Adam. Dionne C. Monsanto, Chief Joy Connector here. I see you're driving, Adam.
Good morning, Dionne. How you doing this morning, sweetie?
I am so awesome. Blessed, blessed, blessed. Let's see who else is here. Get what you need, fam, however you take notes. Hey, Felicia. You know, while you're waiting, you can type in the chat where you're hailing in from. I love we're such a global community. Sometimes there's people from out of the country. And I've joined from out of the country, but not in a while. But again, grab water, pen, paper, however you take notes. We're going to be talking about how to get grief out of your body. And I'm hoping all of you participate, Facebook and Zoom, to make sure I hear from you. What are some of the things that you do? And you learn from me some other things to add to your toolkit. We got Queens. Do you know, I saw Queen Latifah did this live recently, and she was in New York filming Equalizer. So it was so cool having her walk around and show Queensbridge. Hey, Rachel. And talking about back in the day. Hey, Marilyn, Mama Z, type in the chat where y'all are hailing from today. This global national community, where are you coming in from? I'm in the Dominican Republic. That's my joke because I live in Washington Heights, and Washington Heights in Manhattan is the Dominican Republic. So I'm hailing from Manhattan too, Cheryl, but I'm in the Dominican, I'm in DR. Y'all know New York is broken into so many different neighborhoods. So I'm in DR. All right, DMV. You know, it also helps me when I go to traveling to see who I can see. We need a New York reunion. Yeah, we need to get together. We need to get together. Oh, I don't know Washingtonville. Where y'all coming in from, Facebook? I know you're on Facebook. Don't forget to type that in there too. Get what you need, paper, pen, however you take notes, and water, and get your voice ready to talk. Yeah.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting.
Good morning, wake up everybody family, my family on Zoom and my family out there on Facebook. My name is Dionne C. Monsanto, and today we're talking about how to get grief out of your body. So I'm going to start off with us talking about that just for a moment. You can get what you need while I'm chatting: water, coffee, tea, paper, pen, however you take notes. And of course, Ingrid, hey, you can also make sure you come back to this. And, Ingrid, I need to text you offline. So one of the things when you're looking at grief and talking about their different forms of grief, sometimes we may feel that we're only grieving if someone physically has transitioned, someone has died, right? And acknowledging that grief is more than the physical death of a human, of a pet. It could be loss of a job. It could be loss of life as you know it. It could be living in a different place, relocating, like moving from an apartment to a house. There's so many things that trigger feelings of loss. So grief and loss can be triggered and brought up by certain things. And it's a natural response. So sometimes I think where we are, for most of us, when I asked you to type in the chat where you're hailing from, it seemed like everybody was here in these United States of America. And in this country, I would say that we're taught that it's something that should only be done in a short period of time. So we've been conditioned to believe that someone dies, we get to feel sad for a limited amount of time, and then life goes on. Now, by a show of hands or comments in the chat, is that real? Does grief have a time period on it? Whether you're on Zoom or Facebook, does somebody die on Tuesday and you go back to work in 2 days or 3 days or how many days you're giving off and you feel better and life is going back to normal? Is that what happens in real life? You can come off mute and say something, or you can type it in the chat. Oh, thank you so much for that. Jacqueline said, no, I miss my older brother and it has been 50 years. Cheryl said, not at all. Rachel said, not at all. Teresa, all caps, said, no way. So thank you for that, fam. The reality is grief doesn't have a time limit on it. So you may move on and live, I don't like this term, so I'm using it facetiously, happily ever after. Or it could carry on and get complicated. It could weigh you down mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Sometimes it triggers addiction and different things. So it gets stuck. Thank you, Phyllis. Loud. I'm sure y'all are out there on Facebook saying something too. So you can add that to the chat when you get around to it, admin. So if we're clear that it does not have a time limit, let's talk about some of the ways it shows up for us and some things we can do to get it out of our body. Because we know as we grow, we like to think happiness gets stuck, but sadness and grief and loss get stuck. Hey, Imani, get stuck in our bodies as well. And I want to mention, I love hearing from you. So Cheryl, if you don't mind using your voice, I would love to hear you say that out loud, Cheryl.
Sure. My youngest brother died in 2019 randomly, and I miss him nearly every day. And in that same year, we lost 11 more people between my family and circle of friends, including Shamani and a 1-year-old infant. So yeah, that doesn't go away. It stays with me.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't choose to. What I should say is they stay with me.
Ashe.
Yeah,
Ashe.
they stay with me. I don't continually grieve, but not to say that sometimes I do cry and feel the weight of the loss, but I do honor them in my own way and make sure that I'm present to the fact that they're still here.
Ashe, thank you for that. So thank you so much for sharing your voice with that. And you let me know if there's anything to share from Facebook. Thank you, Z said, not by any stretch of the imagination. So I love that what Cheryl just said about how she keeps them with her. And I asked her to share what she typed in the chat because there were a number of people, let's say a dozen people. And for those of you that I don't know, I talked about this before and you've heard me, those of you that haven't met me before, I did lose my daughter to suicide 11 years ago. And it was even here at the Wake Up Everybody community that Kinyofu shared with me that her daughter knew her and she remembers it. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. So it's an important topic to me because I feel as though I am consistently looking at how it shows up for me and transforming that. And what I am going to ask you to do after I share some of the rituals and things that I do to hear, because each of us have something that we do when something dies or when there's a sense of loss. If it's a relationship, because there's definitely grief and loss around ending of relationships. Sometimes friendships end or marriages and relationships. So that's, oh, perfect. Perfect timing. Cheryl just typed in that from Facebook, someone said that they're grieving the loss of a relationship. Thank you, Cherry. I definitely recall that as well and had a reunion for one of those people that I felt like I lost from my life. We unfortunately reconnected at a funeral, but it was so happy to see her and hug her and look at how we'll reinvigorate that lost relationship. So keeping that person alive, and from a previous chat that I've had on with you a couple of times, altars. We can create structures outside of our physical body in honor of almost anything. Vision board areas, places. And then the first step, just starting with that first loss that a lot of us have been experiencing in this season. And what's one of the rituals? Oh, thank you for that. I see that Jacqueline says she's grieving the loss of her friend and her husband who passed from the effects of 9/11. I was going to go on and say something else, but you have inspired me. Are you comfortable chatting about this, Jacqueline, or do you want to stay on the side?
Oh yeah, I can talk about it. When I say loss of a friend, that was a relationship loss. The husband was a really good. The couple was a really good friend of me and my husband, and we traveled together and did a lot of things together. And she and I had a falling out, and her husband passed away years later from the effects of 9/11. He was a policeman, so that's one of those things that nags at me from time to time.
Yeah. So how were you able to attend his funeral, and how have you, since you brought this up, and did he pass from 9/11 way back when people first died from the effects, or was it years later? Because I know people that experienced both.
No, it was years later. Didn't
Okay.
happen but a few years ago. And yes, I was able to attend, but not because she invited me. I found out probably the day of or the day before of the funeral. So I made my way there.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that. And that is a combination. So we said there's from loss of relationships and then there was a physical death, and both of them were impacted. Thank you, Facebook, for all of your shares. What are some of the things that you did, if anything, if you don't mind sharing, when the relationship ended and when the husband died? Are there any particular things that you did to help your heart heal?
I think I just got more involved in hold on a sec. My daughter was trying to call me. Am I still there?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you. Okay. Well, say it again, Kinyofu.
She might have popped off. Yeah, she's not
Okay.
here anymore.
Oh, okay. I got it. Oh, I see Kaisha has a hand up. Come on in. Let me hear your voice, Kaisha.
Hi, good morning. I was on Facebook, but I'm kind of in the car line now, so I could talk very quick.
All right, thank you.
All right, okay. So I wanted to talk when you were talking about the aftermath of grief, because I'm thinking of when we accomplish, like our life, like you said, our life is moving on, And when we accomplish great achievements, the person that we lost is not with us, or we can't give that person a call. And that catapults us into, that's the wave. That's when the wave of emotions come in. You know, it's great, you're happy, woo! And then the tears. So here's my experience. I want to say 2 weeks ago on Veterans Day, I received my paper master's in the mail, my paper degree in the mail. And I immediately put my mother on camera. I texted her, I called her, "Mom, what you doing?" She was like, "I'm working." I was like, "I'm about to video chat, video chat with you." And I call her and we're celebrating, and we're happy. We're great, we're celebrating. And then I immediately start crying because my grandmother, who passed in 2020, wasn't here to share it. And from what I learned in Wake Up, we learned to give thanks to our ancestors, and of course, the mother is the most important over the grandfather. So I try to bring my grandfather into this. Don't want to leave, don't want to leave the father figure out. So as my mother is grieving my grandma, my mother, I'm like, well, we gotta remember, granddaddy, too. But the fact that she's yes, I'm her offspring, and yes, I'm making her proud. That grief, that wave came in with my mother and I. That wave of grief came in as we're celebrating, we're happy, but we're grateful that she gave birth to us. My grandmother gave birth to both of us. But man, I would have loved for her to be here. A woman who went to New York, in her 20s from the South, who was a domesticated worker.
Yeah.
I don't know if
she was a pioneer. Mama said, I had
Yes.
things to do and I had to go places to do it. So definitely, I love
Yes.
that. And
Yes.
what I do love, and what you said, thank you for sharing, Kaisha, while you're driving, that you did acknowledge it and you verbalized it. And so that is something that two people have done already. One way to get things out of your body is to give them voice, to acknowledge it and state it. Because if we allow ourselves to stay in a state of denial, like, how you doing? I'm good. And not acknowledging that this thing exists and we don't name it, then it grows. It's in the darkness. So you and your mother acknowledged it. Jacqueline just acknowledged it as
Thank
well,
you.
what it was. And that's important. And bringing that person in and let them share. And what I will offer is you can show it. Like I might be, because I was with y'all, literally, this, we are fam. So when I wrote this book, I came on here with y'all for my daughter's birthday, and it was like, we did it, girl. Like, you see this, we did this. So whether you look up or you look out, or however you feel to bring that person in, if it's a physical human that has passed, to have that conversation. Because what I say to all of you, and I remind myself as I say it to you, is those who we have physically lost that are in the ancestral realm, they seeing and hearing more than they want to. You might need to be a little bit embarrassed because there's stuff you're doing that you think nobody sees. Yeah, they see, so there's another aspect of the level of closeness and how personal you are with that person. The loss for us is that we can't physically share things with them. I can't receive a hug. I can't see their smile. I can't touch their face, but those are things. So giving it voice gets it out of your body. Journaling, writing about it gets it out of your body, and moving your body gets it out of your body. I don't know if Adam's at the gym already, but that, how we know that Adam comes in from the gym at times and working out. Your body, a book that I've mentioned many times, Your Body Holds the Score. I don't have my copy near me, so I can't show it to you. I think that's the name of the title.
Your Body Keeps Score.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Body Keeps Score, phenomenal book that talks about the different ways. So you might put something in the recesses of your mind, but it's there in your body. You may have consciously forgotten about it, but it's in your body. Your body keeps score. So I would say your body holds the score and your body has the memory, but that's not the name of the book. So the other thing that I didn't hear everybody say for people who have physically died, there's a funeral. Everybody has some sort of ritual called a homegoing service. A celebration of life is what I termed it, a funeral, a repast, a wake. There are different traditions that we have And one of the challenges I talked about in a different setting is that when COVID came, and their wonderful creations like the Wake Up Everybody virtual community came about out of COVID. So there are phenomenal things that happen, but some of our traditions that move things along for us and allow a space for our grief. So the funeral ritual, whether it's a rites of passage, whether it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days within the Akan. Oh, thank you for putting that in the chat, Cheryl. You can click the link in the chat, fam, for the title of the book. There, when we have a thing to do, a ritual to have, that allows us to put the grief somewhere. It allows us to have that conversation and give it a space. And we didn't have that initially during COVID. Some of us were not allowed to have funerals, to gather, to hug and touch, to take food over to the family's house and whatever those traditions are. So I'm going to stop here because I think I've stimulated some thoughts. And I would love, 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 wherever you are, you're going to go into a breakout room and make a list of some of the rituals, whether it's eating, drinking, going to the funeral, sending something to the funeral, cooking for the family. Make a list of the rituals and the things that you do for grief. And I'm talking about human death or pet death, or physical death of a loved one, whether it's a four-legged friend or a human, writing that down, or loss of relationship. What are the things that you currently do? Because I think we forget that we are all infinitely whole and resourceful, and we have things that we do, and we're so used to doing them. We think like, oh, I don't do anything. You're like, oh yeah, I do that. I do this. You know, I have an altar, I pour libation, whatever it is. So make a list of those things. You'll be in a room of 3 or 4 people, so you can share, and then we'll come back together and collectively share with different people in the group. So that's, we're gonna do that. I'll be here. Was that clear enough, Kenyofu?
Yes.
Okay.
All righty. So I have 4 people in a room. One room has 3 people.
Okay.
And myself, you, oh wait.
We're staying.
Yeah, so I'm taking you out. I took us out. Just
Okay.
forgetting. So you're out. So that's 2 rooms have 3 people. Oh, yeah. All right. And I'm going to open.
If you wind up in a room by yourself, you know, you can come back here, but since you have 3 people, you should have somebody to chat with. Make your list, and then come back and share. We'll see you. Everybody should have about 3 minutes to chat, and then we'll come back and share together.
Okay. I'm sending you in 12 minutes. Y'all should be pulled in automatically.
All right. Thank you so much, Kenyofu.
Sure.
So my Facebook family, just so you're not left by yourself out there, make your list wherever you are, and you can type it in and on Facebook if you like to share, because I know there were a couple of you out there that were sharing. What are some of the things you do? I did mention some of the brief things. We go to funerals. We generally take foods. Oh, peace, Ia Robin. We take food. We cry. You know, good to see you. So what are those things that you do, and write them down for yourself, and you can share them even on Facebook. And there are things, because there's so many traditions that we can learn from. And if you type your stuff in the chat here, I'll read them out for the folks. So Ia Robin, if you had just joined, what's happening and talking about, we're in breakout rooms talking about what it is that we do for grief and how we honor it and what our current traditions